All right, I'm back. Reacted to the Donkey Kong Direct. Took a few hours to sit, let my thoughts really ruminate on this and ruminate on what we saw. Kind of, get my thoughts in order. And man, if I was already not hyped for this game, which I was already hyped. This would have put me over the edge and this would have made me fucking incredibly excited. Like, we have the hook, we have the capture mechanic from Odyssey. Like, and I don't mean literally, but we have this game's equivalent to it. Like, it is. Oh, let's just get into it. Let's just get into it. So the at first this trailer was, or this direct was kind of what I expected, right? It was going over a bunch of the stuff that we had already seen in Nintendo Direct, like turf surfing and chunk jumping and all the little, bits of like tech you have, like all the little extra ways Donkey Kong has for movement, and it looks good. Like Donkey Kong, just as a base move set, feels like he has as much, if not more, than Mario did in Odyssey. He feels like, just like, even just, not even thinking about any of the stuff we'll get into, you just have a whole lot that you can do with this character to get around the world, build up momentum, and, keep that momentum going to reach new areas and find new collectibles. So already, just Donkey Kong looks inherently good to control. And then on top of that, the game is adding all of this extra stuff. The game is adding all of these extra little bells and whistles to further make Donkey Kong feel even better. So the first thing we're going to get into is Pauline, Mini Pauline, who we already kind of knew from the Nintendo Korea leak. They already leaked a render of her. And so we've known about this character for a while. It was speculated that she might have been like Pauline's daughter or Pauline's niece or like a little sister. No, this is just Pauline. This is just fucking straight up young Pauline on her quest to become a singer. And so, thus, the storyline is Pauline, or Odd Rock. We don't know how she got turned into Odd Rock, but Donkey Kong manages to free her from that with what's called a Bonanza, and we'll get in that in a second. Essentially, Pauline is on a quest to the planet's core to go make a wish, and Donkey Kong just sort of happened onto her as Odd Rock, because he was just coming down here because he had heard about the bananas, and he had come for those. He had come for the bananas. And so he and Pauline are now teaming up to go to the planet's core and racing against a group of villains known as the Void Company, who, again, we already knew about kind of. Now we have names for them. Void Kong, Poppy Kong, and Grumpy Kong. So they are just straight up Kongs. They are just straight up, we knew there were other monkeys. The game is just calling them Kongs. So already we're going into that, and that's interesting. Um, this does kind of mess with the story because Cranky Kong is there. He's still the original Donkey Kong. He still makes reference to being the original Donkey Kong. But if Pauline's here and she's like 13, right? Then how could that happen? Because she's an adult when the original Donkey Kong happened. It's very confusing. Is there time travel? Some people have speculated, is there time travel? Some people have speculated, is there, reason? Is this a different Pauline than the Pauline from the original Donkey Kong? The most likely answer is Nintendo just doesn't care. The most likely answer is Nintendo just doesn't care about the story, and they are just kind of doing whatever they want. But, all right, so far the story is pretty basic. Pauline wants to go to the planet's core. Donkey Kong wants bananas. They are both antagonized by Void Company, and so they team up. All right. It's so far so simple. Where Pauline's inclusion into the game really gets interesting is in two things. One, she can sing. Obviously, she can make music. That's her whole thing ever since Odyssey. And her music can like affect the world and can like destroy these little seals Voidco has on things. And that's all well and good, right? That's a neat little thing. But the second one is why I say this game has its equivalent of Odyssey's capture. And that's the Bonanza forms. So we finally know what that big ol' Kong beforehand was. He's an elder. In each world, in each species you meet has an elder. So we see a zebra elder and we see an ostrich elder. And once you and Pauline do a big old contract called a Bonanza, for these elders, they give you the ability to turn into various Bananza forms. And so far, we've seen three: a Kong Bananza, which just turns Donkey into a bigger gorilla. He gets black and white fur like a traditional gorilla, like a real life gorilla, and he gets extra strength. We see a Zebra Bananza, who just looks horrifying. He can run at superhuman speeds to the point where he can just like run across water. And then there's also the, oh god, I'm looking at it again now, the ostrich Bananza. This thing also looks terrifying. It has banana wings and a tiny head, and he can fly and drop eggs. And dear heaven, that design. But freakish look aside, all of these Bananza forms look incredible because they look like they're going to completely change how you interact with the world. Like, because the ostrich banana just allows you to like fly, just allows you to, well, I'd rather glide, allows you to just like get on an up current and just glide around the world and get into areas where you'd never be able to get to as normal Donkey Kong. And as I said, the zebra Bonanza lets you run across water, and I'm like, okay, so these forms, once you have these forms, they will completely change how you have to look at the world and look at the levels. Because inherently you have to think, okay, now I can run across that water. Where can I go? Can I get something over there? Oh, now I can glide across that ravine? Cool. Let me go over there and see what I can get over there. It's like, and it's extremely clever because it really is just the animal buddies from Donkey Kong Country, but expanded into something much more unique and or not unique. It's expanded into something much, more fluid, much more intertwined with Donkey Kong's base moveset. Where instead of, hey, I'm gonna go find a crate and then I'm gonna, hop on Rambi or Espresso. Donkey Kong essentially is Rambi. He is Espresso now. Like, he is one with those creatures, and he can now like swap out to their movesets. And it's a really clever evolution of it. In the same way, Odyssey, I think, was a really clever evolution of how 3D Mario used power-ups, where instead of just getting a temporary fire flower to light some candles, or get a temporary metal cap to transform into Metal Mario, now you are just turning into, hey, let me go grab that like heavy piece of steel, capture it, now I am that piece of steel, and now I'm heavy. And that's what this is, but except for the Bonanza forms, I think it's almost even better than the captures, because these are part of your moveset. Like, these are just part of your base moveset, meaning you at any time, as long as you have enough of what's called Bananergy, which is like, I love that name. Some people have called it stupid. I love it. But as long as you have enough Bananergy, you can just pick a form, turn into it, and then go to town. And it's super fucking cool. It's super fucking fun from what it looks like in the trailer. Like, if this ends up being how I think it's gonna be, it's gonna be so much fun just swapping in between forms, managing your Bananergy, and just seeing what crazy shit you can do. And it especially seems like I'm looking for the trailer again. It seems like you can just kind of swap Bonanza forms on the fly. So I wonder if you can go from, gliding with the ostrich form. Oh, I'm about to land in some water. Okay, let me turn to the zebra form and start running across it. And it's like, oh, like if they let you do that, then there's the potential for some really just insane platforming challenges, especially too since there's also going to be what are called challenge course ruins, which seem to just be like dedicated little levels where you just run through, collect some stuff, and then get going. And I'm like, okay, so I just run through there, collect stuff, and beat this little challenge course, some of which are straight up references to previous Donkey Kong games, because we see both levels. We see, I believe, the first level of Donkey Kong Country recreated in there. We also see a little bit of the arcade Donkey Kong recreated in there. We see Bramble Scramble come back from Donkey Kong Country 2, so I wonder if they're also going to have the music in there. Probably. The game's soundtrack already also sounds excellent. I'll get to that in a moment, but just everything about this revealed in this trailer, like, it looks so good. It looks amazing, and it's just, again, the core way DK moves and the core way he interacts with this world already looks like it was going to be incredibly satisfying. And now that they're introducing these Bonanza forms, it looks like it's going to be like the possibilities of what Donkey Kong can do are going to get even greater. and I can't wait to actually get this in my hands. And the story, I will say, as like a fan who was hoping to see K. Rool in this, we still don't have him yet. There still are hints. We still have the Crocoid enemies, which are those, golden skeleton Kremlings. One of the Void Kongs, Grumpy Kong, his boss is like against a giant stone crocodile statue. So it would be weird for you to fight a bunch of like crocodile enemies, have these bosses creating basically giant effigies of crocodiles, and not have K. Rool show up somewhere. So I still think, and again, with all the callbacks to Donkey Kong Country, I do still think he is somewhere in this game. We'll just have to see. But yeah, the story of Pauline and Donkey Kong essentially teaming up on this journey and having these big melodramatic scenes of Pauline calling out to Donkey Kong and saying, "No, I'm going to go with him. I'm going to complete my dream." Which, by the way, Pauline is fully voiced in this game, and I have to admit, it doesn't sound great. It's not terrible. It's just very stilted in a lot of it. And I hope that maybe they use some different takes in the final game. But so far, I'm not sure how I feel about the voice acting, but that's a minor quibble. But yeah, the story of the way this game looked and the way this game is being treated, it almost feels weirdly like shonen anime-esque because of, Donkey Kong and Pauline transforming for the power of friendship. Donkey Kong essentially getting super powered extra forms, including one that has slicked back golden hair that looks like Super Saiyan 3, except it's a bunch of bananas, which I thought was really funny and I thought was really clever. And just the whole vibe of the game feels like someone said, "Hey, what if we did a Donkey Kong shonen anime and made it a game?" And I have to admit, I'm kind of excited for that. It sounds like a really fun concept. But yeah, you have the Bananza forms, you have the challenge levels. There's just so much in here. And even as I took my time to collect my thoughts, I still find myself almost just a little overwhelmed in how much they crammed into 15 minutes, into how much they were able to show off in that little amount of time. It's insane, and it looks so good. Oh my gosh. So we also have, okay, let me collect myself a little bit. Okay, so again, let me just calm down. I'm so excited. Oh gosh. Oh god, okay. I am kind of just rambling and jumping from thing to thing. Let me structure myself. Give me a moment. Let me structure myself because I am aflush with just excitement for Donkey Kong, and I am so happy I get to be this. I'm so happy I get to feel this. It has been so long since I have been allowed to feel this. Oh boy. Let me see. Where do I want to start? Costumes. We have costumes, and interestingly enough, instead of in Mario Odyssey, the costumes were just that. They were silly little costumes that you would wear and dress Mario up like a zombie or dress him up like Waluigi. Not in this game. In this game, both Donkey Kong and Pauline have outfits that you can trade for fossils. Which, by the way, I like how different collectibles are being used for different items. So you have Banandium chips, which are essentially the blue coins from Mario Sunshine. You collect a certain amount of them, and you can trade them in for a Banandium gem. The Banandium gems are those big crystal bananas that are essentially the main collectible of the game, and that you can use to like earn skill points and upgrade yourself, which is also in itself a fascinating mechanic because, again, this really isn't something you see out of mainline Nintendo platformers. It's usually just like, hey, what the abilities you have at the start are the abilities you have throughout the entire game. With exception, how Laboratories did that with Kirby in the Forgotten Land, where you could use different blueprints to upgrade Kirby's abilities. But even then, you were upgrading his copy abilities. You weren't really so much upgrading Kirby himself, you know what I mean? And then, but this is just no. You can just get these skill points and upgrade Donkey Kong, and I really like that because I think that gives a very tangible reason to collect these Banandium gems. Because instead of just collecting them to open up a new area in the world or to continue progressing, you are building Donkey Kong. You are making him stronger. You are making him better, and you can also upgrade Pauline as well. But you have the Banandium, which you can use for skill points. You have the banana coins, which you can trade in for more Banandium gems, and then you have the fossils, which you can trade in at the style shop. And the style in these, or Banandium chips are rather, I meant to call they were called Banandium chips, not banana chips. But no, the fossils you collect, and you can look at them, and you have little like uh little blurbs about them, which I really enjoy. Where it's like, here's the fossil of a trilobite. It's called a trilobite because it has like three little bits on its head. But the archaeology, the kid in me who wanted to be an archaeologist, and the dinosaur kid in me really appreciates that. But the big part about these costumes is that they're not just cosmetic like they were in Mario Odyssey. The fossils you trade in, you get costumes that actually affect Donkey Kong's abilities. So we see in the trailer, for instance, let me go back here and look. We see here in the trailer, Donkey Kong gets different ties, breeches, and it's seemingly hats. And one of his ties can make it so, you know, a what's the word? Blah, blah, blah. He gets, or one of his breeches rather, he gets swimming bridges, which he calls him to swim a little bit faster. He gets, a tie that makes treasure chests more likely to appear. And then you get Pauline, who also gets her own outfits that increase her own abilities. So she gets one that increases the range of her sonar, which can be used to find bananas in the ground. She can use one to like recharge Bananza faster. It's really cool. It's a really interesting idea. And I think it's fun to like not just have cosmetics for the sake of cosmetics, but give them a purpose, right? Give them a reason for you to want to collect them. And there also are some that are just for cosmetic. Like you can change Donkey Kong's fur color, which I really like. I wonder if you'll be able to like change it to like different patterns or if it'll just be solid colors. Because I would love to be able to like pattern Donkey Kong's fur like a zebra or a giraffe. Or even, ooh, it'd be really fun if you could like pattern it off other Nintendo characters. So he has like Samus pattern fur or something where like the fur on his face looks like her helmet. That'd be kind of fun. But yeah, so there's just so much of this game already, and I am having a hard time staying concise and staying and keeping myself from just wanting to gush. Cause oh my god, this looks amazing. This looks so good. But yeah, you can also level up your costumes. So it seems to be we'll have to see how this happens. If it's through do you also have to use Banandium to level up the outfits, or is it something like, hey, if you use say the swimming bridges enough and you use their effect enough, does the effect naturally improve over time and does incentivize you to use the same outfits and level them up by keeping them on, or is it something where you can just kind of upgrade whatever you want? I'm very curious to see how that's gonna work out. I'm very curious to see how that'll work out. But so far, and then there's also you can collect little music discs. You can collect little you can collect little CDs to which you can play at a gramophone to hear the soundtrack. Which, by the way, gramophone, that is something that Cranky had in the original Donkey Kong Countries as well. So I wonder if that's another callback there. You just have so much in this game, and it looks so excellent. And I just can't wait. I can't wait. I need to see what's in this game. I need to play it. I need to get my hands on it. I need to play it right now. But oh gosh, they crammed so much into 15 minutes of a trailer. I did not think it was going to be this expansive. I did not think it was going to be this in depth. I figured it was kind of just going to be a recap like the Mario Kart World Direct was. But no, this game has so much to show. And if this is what they're willing to show in the marketing, how much more is in the game that we just aren't seeing until it comes out? Like, how much more are we just going to have when this game comes out that Nintendo's just not going to tell us and that you have to find for yourself? It's like, ooh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. And trying to see what else. There's also an art mode called DK Artist, which gives you a chunk of rock that you can use to like paint and sculpt into whatever you want. And I'm like, Nintendo, have you not learned your lesson from the Smash Bros. Stage builder? You know people are gonna make dicks with this, right? Are gonna make dicks, are gonna make boobs, are gonna make the fucking edgiest things their minds can construct, right? Like, are you sure this is a good idea, Nintendo? Giving people this creation tool, but we'll see how that works. The game also supports amiibo, which is cool. It kind of feels like amiibo are very hit or miss with Nintendo now. Sometimes they'll support them, other times they'll just kind of forget they exist. I don't even think Mario Kart World supports them, or if they do, it's in such a minor way that kind of doesn't really matter. So it's cool that they are doing something with amiibo in here, and you get an exclusive Pauline costume if you get the new one they're releasing alongside the game, or if you just use any Donkey Kong letter or on a Donkey Kong amiibo, you summon the Kong letters from the country games, which I think is a really cute little idea. Even if it means those probably aren't going to be collectibles in the game itself, which is unfortunate. But hey, it's cool that they're in there in some regard. But man, there's just so much to this game, and I just can't wait to play it. I can't wait to play it. But yeah, and then there's the soundtrack, and then like there seems to be a lot more vocals. This is the same actress Pauline had in Mario Odyssey. This is the same singer who did Jump Up Superstar, and they seem to have just doubled down on that by making the plot so centric around Pauline's desire to sing. There's just a whole bunch of little areas where she is just singing songs and doing little performances, and she's doing the Bananza concert to unlock new forms for DK, and it's like, I can't wait to see what the soundtrack for this game is and to hear the soundtrack for myself, because it's probably going to be filled with not just a lot of great orchestral music, but probably a lot of great like lyrical music. And I love video game musics with lyrics that feel like songs you could hear on the radio. It's the same reason why I love so much modern Sonic music and why I have so much Crush 40 in my soundtrack. And I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with this. But that's Donkey Kong Bonanza. This direct was a 10 out of 10. I can't wait to get the game. I'm gonna try to get that new amiibo. Hopefully they're not a pain in the ass. It's not up for pre-order yet, and it's releasing on the same day as on the game. So hopefully they just reserve some for like in stores. So if you just want to go pick one up in stores, they put some aside and you can get them. But that's all for now. Be sure to crank up the noise and let me know what you think about this game in the comments below. Are you excited? Did this trailer make you more or less enthusiastic with the game? Do you still think Ooh, that's one more thing before I go. I almost forgot. Diddy and Dixie are in the game, but they are just, so far, it just looks like they're NPCs. We see them as part of this little like Rambi riding mini game, and they look great. Like Dixie does seem to have a slight redesign herself, but like Diddy, it's a pretty subtle. So unless you're looking at it and looking at stuff like the little skin flap between her eyes and she has a little guitar pin or guitar pick as a pin on her hat, which is adorable. So it seems like, again, not something crazy, but just little things here and there to really kind of add a little bit extra character to them. So that's awesome. But no, let me know what you thought about this in the comments below. Did this make you more or less excited for Bonanza? How do you feel? Do you still think K. Rool's in the game? How do you feel about the Bonanza forms? I'll be honest, I think they're an excellent idea from a gameplay standpoint, even if they look slightly horrifying. Like, especially the ostrich one. Like, his fucking head is too small for his body, and just like, oh no, and they all are so muscular, and they look like they're like, they look like they're about to burst out of their own skin. But I'm really curious to play with them. I'm curious if there's any more. There probably will be. I assume there's probably one for each major world. I'm gonna assume each major world has an elder, and that you're going to swap through all of them. I hope there's ones for at least each of the classic like animal buddies. I hope we get a rhino one for Rambi. I hope we get we already have an ostrich one that represents Espresso. I hope we get like a swordfish one to represent On Guard. Maybe we get an elephant one for Ellie. It'd be super cool if they did one for at least a couple of for at least all of the animal buddies that were in one. So Rambi, Espresso, On Guard, that whole cast. Like, at the very least, if they give one Bonanza form for each of them, I would be pretty down with that. But alright, let me know what you think about this game in the comments. Are you excited? Are you not? Did this make you more or less excited for them? Me personally, I can't wait. I want it super bad now. Oh gosh, this game looks amazing. It's insane. Ooh, they could do one for Winky the Frog. They could do a Bonanza form for Winky and a big old frog and just hop super high. Ooh, that'd be cool. That would be cool. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. And now for real this time, be sure to crank up the noise, and I'll see you later.